Welcome back, everybody, to another wonderful episode of Banter on the Rocks. It is Monday, June 8th today. Got myself Tim here, of course, and John as always. And we've got another loaded episode for you all. If this is your first time here checking out the show, welcome to the chaos that is Banter on the Rocks. And to everybody who taps in each and every week, we appreciate all the support more than you ever know. And make sure you hit that subscribe, follow, and turn on your notifications buttons so you never miss a weekly drop with the boys. And on today's lineup, we're going to be getting into our latest Banter takes, a summer movie bash check-in game that we've been going on third week now. We got WOLFPACK check-in, World Cup preview, NBA final stuff to talk. We got a whole lot. And of course, as always, much, much more is added on to this. And you already know how we do it. Real conversations, unfiltered opinions, questionable takes, and plenty of banter along the way. And as we do each and every week, we're going to be kicking things off with our banter drinks of the week, what we're sipping on, why we picked it, and how it's fueling our energy for today's episode. And myself here, just a much needed liquor related bev. Had to go back. I took a 1 week hiatus. I did have my healthy drinks earlier today. I will say that. Okay. I had the Taste Salud, that mango with the vegetables mixed in. I think it has kale. It's actually really pretty decent, and I feel like it just like makes me feel like I lost 2 pounds after I drink it. Like I just feel refreshed. So it's good stuff. I recommend if you haven't tried it, John, or anybody who's listening. But my drink I am actually having right now is a gin and tonic. Went and saw some Hendrix on the shelf over the weekend. Was like, been a minute. Got some, picked up tonic, have the ice, and we're set. That's it. Nice. A little bit of lime. That's it.
Nice. No, that's good. I have to try that green one. I've seen Josh Leva, the creator of Taste Salud, really promoting his green drink. And I've tried other ones, aren't the best. This one sounds like it's probably a lot better. So, and yeah, hey, if I could feel like I've lost 2 pounds, this jersey might feel not as tight as it is. So, but feel good.
I couldn't tell, John. Looks perfectly.
Thank you.
Perfectly fit. Yep.
But today I'm sticking to what I normally do. I got my Taste Salud and then some tequila, and I'm using one of my shows how fat I am. My McDonald's cup. Special edition, got Mexico, so.
Well, right there with you.
Cheers.
Don't have the drink in it, but I have it.
Yeah.
We exchanged our fat messages over the weekend, everybody.
Yes.
We both, without even announcing that we were going to do it, got the new, I guess, World Cup FIFA meals that they offer. Do you go chicken nuggets or do you go burger?
I went chicken nuggets. I had a chicken light. Yeah.
Likewise.
Yeah, it was before the party we were at. So I was like, I got to take it late.
There you go. That's what I did. Yeah.
So that was good. So, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. I will say I didn't prep. I was at a short story at the Food and Wine Festival that Casa Pacifica has this past weekend on Sunday.
Very nice.
Tasted a lot of new drinks. There were a few. I got their cards. I gotta find where they're at, and then I'll bring them up to the next week's show to discuss a little bit more of those alcoholic drinks. But they were really good. Great. So it was a good, fun weekend. That's why on Saturday didn't have a sip of alcohol because I was saving it for Sunday.
Very good. Yeah, I was planning on having more than just a beer hit, and then just the amount of games I played.
Yeah.
was just absurd.
Good. Like I say, we if this is your first time here, you'll know. We'll go off on tangents every now and then, and we'll just talk. But saw you playing this one fishing game, or with like torpedoes.
Oh, yes.
What was that one about? Because I kept on seeing everybody like just going around that.
Yes, we're talking the one, 4 players, everybody kind of like a flat table type game. Yeah, so they have that one as well at Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay.
I don't play it all the time, just some of the times. But I bought an extra card so that way, we could tally up the points, let the kiddos get a better prize at the end of it. Worked out really well. And it's a fun one, John. Highly recommend this game to you, anybody listening. It's you torpedo a bunch of fish, In the center, there's a treasure chest with a magical squid on the inside, or jellyfish. My bad. It looks straight out of SpongeBob once it's out and it's floating
That's
around. Has like
hilarious.
an aura around it. And but you the goal is try to keep playing until you get the jellyfish comes out, because then you get the big bonus. So
Yeah.
we were playing, had some folks kind of lingering around the table because you kind of want to join in at an opportune moment when the jellyfish comes out. Wasn't going to let that happen. And I think I mentioned it to you. My clutch rating went up to a 99. I think it was like a solid 92, went up to a 99 after this because birthday, we were about to sing happy birthday in the room. So it was wrap up time. My card, I didn't want to rescan it because we had to go right after. And I was down to my last harpoon. Jellyfish was out. People were going for it. Very last harpoon, nailed it. Got it.
Nice.
Thousand bonus points. Able to use that towards some good stuff for the kiddos. And it was a great game. Highly recommend.
Awesome.
Don't ask me the name of it. I just, I could point it out of a room easily.
Yeah, no, I don't remember any of the name of any of the games I played with my kiddo, but it's what I saw everybody going around.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They have some better games. Honestly, I feel like at that Dave and Buster's, I feel like they added quite a few more than I remember. I've only been there once or twice to that location, but what I liked was there's like a lot of throwing related games. I'm just a big fan. Sports, 3-point basketball hoop is always a go-to. And then they had one a Stranger Things game where these like little foam balls, and then you're just throwing them. I was playing with my 3-year-old daughter, and I was literally just taking, because there's like probably 50 of those balls on there. Was handing her some, then I'd get a big pile, and I would just chuck them all at once to try to hit all the targets at once. It was pretty effective. But yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I like those games. It's entertaining.
Yeah, no, fun party, fun weekend. But yeah, I noticed that game a lot, so I was curious because my kiddo wasn't interested, but I saw everybody around there.
Yeah, no, Andy was like, taking observations, and just he's just in awe. His Toby kind of got into it. It was great. Yeah,
no, it was good.
Fun times.
But yeah, that was a little bit of our weekend, busy weekend. But we'll continue on, and I don't think we mentioned it. As always, those on TikTok, we appreciate you guys following us, listening to us live, TikTok live, and today's our first day on Twitch. So anybody that logs on to Twitch, thank you for joining us, watching us. We appreciate it. But we'll go into our WOLFPACK check-in. So this is where we talk all things football. Football. That's how you say it.
Football.
With an accent. So this goes from Tim's ongoing Wolves fandom journey, jumping onto the Wolves, to some Premier League drama, transfer rumors, heartbreak, overreactions, and everything's happening around the world of soccer. And with the World Cup, not just around the corner, pretty much here, we'll also be diving into the biggest storyline, contender, dark horses, and what has us excited heading into the tournament. So whether your club, your national team is flying high, fighting for survival, or making questionable decisions, we've got plenty to talk about. So grab your drink and join the pack, and let's talk some football. And World Cup is here. I think we've been waiting so long for the World Cup to be here in the U.S. First game is officially Thursday at noon Pacific time here in Cali. We'll be watching it at noon. And like I said, there's a lot we could talk about the World Cup. I think for the first one we could go, who do you just have winning the World Cup, Tim? Looking at all the teams, I know you've watched it a bit more. Who is like your favorite to win?
My favorite to win it all. Well, I'm going to judge this a little differently than the teams I'm rooting for. I could. Germany looks good. Germany was the team I was going to go for. Of course, I'm going to root U.S. as well. U.S. looked very good over the weekend in the friendly as well at Soldier Field. Great atmosphere. Very solid performance. But, Germany, I think has a really solid chance. but quite frankly, I think when it comes down to it, I think France it looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can't single anybody out, but you know what? I'll stick with Germany. I'm going to go Germany.
Germany.
I'll stick with
That
them. I think they look
okay.
good. I think that they can be a strong team here.
Yeah, Germany always has a solid squad. They have a lot of great younger players. A team that will make it. Like I said, we'll talk a little bit about it. Should be out of this group stage and probably make it pretty far into the World Cup
Yep.
tournament. But for me, my safe winner, repping them today, Spain. This is who I think
Oh
will win
yeah.
it. Have they have one of the youngest electrical players in Yamin Lamal.
Hmm.
Um, I think their squad is just probably one of the most solid overall, better squads in this tournament, and I think I just feel it. I feel it with Spain this year. Last tournament I felt it with Argentina. Even with Argentina getting started off last tournament with a loss, they still won it.
Hmm.
Um, So, and every year I've felt something. I've been pretty spot on. I think when Spain won it, I said Spain at the beginning. I think I picked Italy. I didn't pick Germany when they won or Brazil, but like I say, I'm probably like 3 for 6, so 50%. Not bad for some choosing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's who I have predicting. I think a lot of people's favorite is France. France is always
Hmm.
just a dangerous squad. Mbappe is unstoppable in the tournament. But like I say, they've lost before. They can lose again. So we'll see. But the next one, I think what I like to always go through in my mind and play around with is dark horse. Who is that one team that probably nobody's talking about that you think could win it?
So I could be. I'm going to kind of bandwagon this one, John, and I'm not going to have a whole lot to elaborate on it. But the name was mentioned, and I was like, you know what? Why not? It's Morocco. I think that Morocco
Morocco.
seems
Mm-hmm.
like they could be a dark horse. I am bandwagoning. This is besides France, this was Rob's kind of like next team that he was thinking about. Um, and I'm like, you know what? I was like, wow, Morocco, and he's like, yeah, like they honestly look really solid. So I think that they have. A player that plays for Real Madrid, Diaz, and then
Mm-hmm.
I think a good supporting cast around him. I
Yeah.
don't know a whole lot about the team, but it's a team that I'll be kind of eyeing just based off of the conversation I was having with
Okay.
them.
Yeah. No, Morocco. It was one team I had. I was looking at
Mhm.
when it was played in Qatar. They made it to the semifinals, so they were one win away from making it to the finals.
Okay.
So it's a solid team. They have, like I say, I don't think a lot of people would have thought Morocco was gonna get through that far the tournament, but that's a country that has developed great soccer players. Diaz, um, the guy from PSG. I'm very bad at like in the moment coming up with names.
Hmm.
Hakeem, I think. Um,
I think that's right.
he's on Morocco, so and he's one of the best like backs in the world. Like I say, solid defender, a guy you got to be careful with. So that's not a bad pick, And like I say, Rob knows his ball, so I like that choice.
For
Um,
sure.
for me, it's a long shot, but I don't know why. I was looking at this for quite a while, the group stages, and I was trying to figure out who will be my dark horse this year, and I am picking Turkey.
Oh
I think
wow. Okay.
Turkey is a team that if they get out of this group, they have a solid core. I think their forwards, from what I've seen and just know, getting back into really a lot more football knowledge. Um, it's a team that could compete, and they have to get through USA, Paraguay, Australia. I think they could get at least number two in that group, and make it into the tournament. And like I said, once you're in the tournament, it, it's not even a tournament, just in the World Cup, anything is possible. Kevin Garnett's little saying, because, like I mentioned, last World Cup, Qatar, you not USA, Argentina, their first game against Saudi Arabia, they lost 2-1, and it's to a team that everybody thought it was an easy one. They were going to sweep, and like I said, Argentina ended up still winning the tournament, and winning the World Cup. But you know, it just takes that one game, And if you, I've been watching this documentary on Apple TV about Messi, and it sort of shows like the Argentina team, but it shows that game and how the coach motivated the Saudi Arabia team, and they came out second half and like just stopped Messi and were able to score and win. So there's just so much that could happen in soccer, and like I said, that's why I'm so excited for the World Cup.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's stories like that, right? Like those, either, you get the individual type accolades and these names that kind of you never heard. And then they somehow become a household name throughout the tournament. And it's like the story. And then you find out their background, what they went through to get to where they're at now. And I think it's awesome. I saw a story that somebody tried to, I don't know, the internet tried to find somebody who had the least amount of followers on a team in the tournament. Found somebody I think he had like 2,500 followers. I think it went all the way up to like 7 million at one point. So, talk about, just even without playing a game, just the popularity increase already is ginormous. So yeah, it's good stuff like that. The will to kind of fight and kind of work your way out. Another team that Rob mentioned that, I do want to talk about a little bit was just Portugal. Obviously, Ronaldo's there, but then he big fanboy.
He's a big fan, I will say.
And he kind of threw out that team, but then he also, just for me being a complete amateur of soccer, when it comes to the Ballon d'Or, right? Did I totally butcher the? Okay. The best award in soccer, right? Individual award. And my brain is just thinking, oh, okay, yeah, it's just the last 20 years have just been either Messi or Ronaldo, and they just alternate. Yeah. And that's kind of how. And I know it was like that for a while, but obviously there's been some other names that mix in. But Portugal has another player, right? Or is it France that might have another player that won the Ballon d'Or, if I'm not mistaken? It's either one of those teams.
For this year, or
he won a few years ago.
France have won it. Dembele, he won it. Maybe like I think he was last year. Let me look it up.
Does he play for PSG?
Yeah, he plays for PSG now. Yeah, Ballon d'Or was Dembele, who won it last year.
Okay, my bad. It was late at night. Butchered the conversation that I had with him. But he said Portugal looks really good. And I think that he was saying like the supporting cast, like Ronaldo is obviously a force with that team, but might not even be like the best player at this point in time, on that squad. That there's just a lot to go around with them. So another, fun, exciting team is going to be probably Ronaldo and Messi's last World Cup, as we've discussed before. So, that should be a lot of fun. But I mean, just goes more into show like what France is capable of. If arguably Mbappe might not even be the best player on the team, which is wild to say. He probably is. But I just thought that was an award that one literally just alternated. Mbappe might have won it a year, to see other names are getting it, it's crazy.
Yeah, other names are getting it. Like I say, Mbappe and Mbappe fans, France fans right now may come at us, but he is an amazing player, but I think his ego is just way too high. I was watching a video, or it came up a clip of him subbing into a game with France, and he literally had to ask a player that was on the field for the captain armband because he needed it, because he feels like I think he is the captain, but it's like, it's a friendly game. It's nothing serious. And like, why does it matter if you're captain or not? Like I said, the goal is to win as a team, not an individual thing. And I was like, that's just a bad look. And then it showed a few games later, he was starting, he was a captain. And they were getting ready to come out at the beginning of the game. All the players were like high-fiving him. He was greeting everybody. But the guy he took the armband from, which I think was a Conte, did not high-five him or say anything to him. Pretty much just whisked by him. So it's sort of like you already have a bad reputation, with Real Madrid, going from PSG, not winning any trophies, now going to Madrid, not winning anything, and PSG winning 2 Champions League back to back and just being one of the top teams. Like, it shows that you might be a bad thing for a club. No matter how good you are, no matter how fast you are, that guy's probably the fastest guy I've seen running at times when he sprints. But he just hasn't done it. But I will say, in the World Cup with France, he's done really well. So I think it'll be a good one. But Portugal, I like Portugal. I think that team is solid. You and Rob hit it on the dot, where I don't think Cristiano Ronaldo is the best player on that team, but there's a lot of supporting cast that I think will do so much. Ruben Diaz, Cancelo, Vitina, from PSG. There's so much there that I think it's good. Even João Neves, he was playing with PSG. We saw him in the Champions League. Youngster, 21-year-old, already Crazy. A top player for Portugal. So it'll be cool to see. So, but that's a team that I think could make it in. And if you believe in the Simpsons predictions, Simpsons are predicting Mexico, Portugal in the final. They haven't said who wins, but predicting Mexico, Portugal.
There's a lot that has happened that didn't come true that the Simpsons has created. So we haven't even mentioned Mexico as a dark horse team. So, I mean, why not at this point? They could be. Obviously, I think a lot of the chatter around Mexico is that this is one of the weaker Mexican teams that we've seen in a while, right? But hey, never say never. We just talked about it. Cinderella stories. Anything could happen.
Yeah, not one of the stronger Mexico teams in the last few World Cups, but still, I think the advantage they get, the U.S., Canada get, is home field advantage. Like I said, the fans, they're at home, they know the environment, especially for Mexico, playing the high altitude of Estadio Azteca, they're used to it, so they'll be solid. So I think all 3 of them should get out of the group, but who knows? And I think that goes into my next thing. Who doesn't get out of the group? So every now and then, there's a top team. Like it was, who was it last year? I don't think it was anybody last year, but there was a year Germany won 1 year, and then 4 years later, they don't even get out of the group stage. Same with Brazil, same with Spain. They win the World Cup, they come back trying to defend their reign, but they don't even make it out of the group. So, who do you think might be a choking team that's like top tier that just you're like they're gonna choke this year?
England.
Just have to throw
England, and I'll say it right away. And in just to kind of go along with this take, the Brits are going to come after us probably. They look soft.
You're going soft.
Ass team. They can't handle some Florida heat. I get it. It's humid. It's hot. They don't get that over there in the UK very often. It hits 80 degrees in the UK, and it's like, oh my God, they're going crazy and blah, blah, blah. They don't know what to do. And terrible English accent, sorry. But they're just like, they act like they can't do it. And it's like, okay, well, disadvantage already. And there's already a lot of questions that England always flops, right, when it comes to the World Cup stage. And, this big stage, they can never get it done. That team's only gotten older, right? Like a lot of their key players. I know they have young talent, don't get me wrong. But I feel like that there's a lot of, age talent on there. But, yeah, soft is what I'm going to say. And I don't think it's going to happen. I'm going to say England's going to flop.
Okay. That's a bold one. That's a bold one. but like I said, that's what we're sort of here to do on Banter and sort of figure out what team that a lot of people think will make it. Is it going to even get past the group stage? and I'm saying Brazil. I think this is a year. There's just a lot, for me at least. There's a lot of question marks with Brazil. Them taking Neymar, of course, a big name, but I don't think he's going to do much for the team. I think there were a few other players that should have been put onto that team that would have contributed more immediately than Neymar. I think Neymar did it because he wants to match, Cristiano, Lionel, as attending so many World Cups, but I don't think he has what they need to get through. And I think that group, because like I said, I was looking at it, they have Morocco. Morocco's a dangerous team. That team, I think Morocco's, and we'll talk about groups, will probably win it. Haiti, that's a small island. I don't think they're going to do much. But Scotland, I feel like Scotland, it's their first time in so long, in so many, I can't even remember how many years from what I read. But I think they're going to come out strong, and I think they're going to surprise Brazil. And I think that's just going to be part of the group that goes on to the next round. So I have Brazil as my choker of the tournament.
I like it. Yeah, no, I think that you have a lot of good supporting elements there. We talked about it, with, they took out a player to put Neymar in, and it just drew a lot of question marks. And again, another team that, I don't know, just even their one age talent, if you want to talk about that, it just seems like they made the wrong decision. And just a team that, might not be fully prepared or have their heads in the right place, making decisions like that. So, but, Neymar's still Neymar. Don't want to go against him too much. But, yeah, I think that's a very believable one, and I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So one thing, and when we get further into the tournament, we'll look at the knockout stage. But what we always like to look at for World Cup at the beginning is the group stages and who's going to get out, because that really matters. So we'll go group by group. We'll sort of have our conversation and sort of see who we think will get out. But Group A, this is where we have Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and Czechia. Who do you have? I'll let you go start this group, Tim, and then I'll start Group B, and you'll go after.
We're going first, second, right? For these.
Well, I'll let you choose like your two, and then I'll either agree or I'll tell you who I think will go out.
Got it. We just talked about them. I'm going to go Mexico, getting first out of this group. Then I'm going to go South Korea. I read an article briefly about South Korea. They don't fear anybody. And just a bunch of badasses. So going to go South Korea for second. Maybe they'll take first. I just like their mindset. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. No, yeah. I have it about the same. I have Mexico getting out. I have them getting out first. And then I have South Korea. South Korea is a dangerous team. That's a team ever since that they hosted the World Cup and made it to the third place game. They've been producing players. They've been showing up to these tournaments. So I can't, knock them. South Africa could be a team. The first game, Mexico, South Africa, it's a rematch of 8 years ago when South Africa and Mexico opened up for the South Africa World Cup. So, now it's on Mexico home turf. So finally the away matchup.
There you go.
But yeah, I think Mexico should get out of this group pretty easily. It'll be tough, but they should be first. South Korea second. And then third, probably South Africa, Czechia. They're both solid crews. But we'll go to Group B. Group B is Canada, Bosnia, and I always forget how to say it. Herzegovina. I'm just going to say Bosnia. Qatar, and Switzerland. I think what I've been thinking, I have Canada coming out of this group. And then I'm going to have Bosnia come out. I think that's a team that really worked hard to get into a tournament, and they have good momentum. They had to beat Italy to make it into the World Cup. And, they're the ones that spoiled Italy's return to the World Cup after missing 2 in a row. So this is 3 in a row that Italy isn't in the World Cup. And I think that momentum is going to take them far in this group. I think they could manage Qatar and Switzerland. They have veteran presence, but they also have some young players on the Bosnia team. One of their young players, I think he's like 1920, declared to play for Bosnia, but could have played for the USA. So, potential U.S. talent taking another country far into a tournament.
Very nice. Wow. Well, little less research for me here, John.
Yeah.
Gonna go Canada and Switzerland out of this group. I just think that they'll be the top 2. I feel like either one could make it out. I do like your talking points regarding Bosnia, though, because a lot of this is going to be mindset. This is one of those groups. I don't know. Canada soccer looking better than the U.S. or about the same, or what's your feels on Canada?
Not better than the U.S. or not better than Mexico, but still elite. I think my concern is there's injury concern around that team right now.
Got
it. They lost one player to a torn, I think it was ACL. We talked about it. I don't know if it was the last week or the week before that.
I remember.
And then Alphonso Davies, hearing he's still managing an injury, should be back for the tournament, but I don't know if he'll be ready for the opening game. So,
got it.
Like I say, and that's their probably top player because he plays at Bayern Munich, one of the top, clubs in Europe. So,
absolutely.
Like I say, they have a solid squad, but I think injury is what could plague them and maybe not even make it out of the group. But home field advantage, they play in Canada. All their games are in Canada.
That'll do it. Yeah. Toronto is going to be one of the main stages, right? Main cities for this. Is that the place where we saw some of the bleachers looking a little
I think it might be. I think it might be.
Yeah, looked like a bunch of scaffolding, and I was like, don't know if I'd want to sit on that.
But like, if they gave you free tickets, Tim, to those bleachers, would you?
Are they including food?
Probably not.
Actually, I probably won't want to eat because I feel like any extra weight could make that thing fall. Might not go right. So, you know what? F it. YOLO. Only live once. Let's just go for it. Why not? And I'll give my review of the scaffolding seats.
Yeah. So it is them. It's adding 17,000 temporary seats to their stadium.
17,000 on those bad boys?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And I'm looking at like pictures of it. That's not really it, is it?
Are they putting bricks on the bottom of them, like carnival rides, or like pieces of wood?
From the looks of it, it's already on like a walkway. It's not even on the ground.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. I think what they did right now, because I think all the images we've seen, you see all the metal scaffolding. You see all the crosses there. Right now, I think they have like banners covering it, so you don't see all that. So it looks more secure.
That'll make you feel better. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I would just like to meet the find people that screwed in all the bolts and did you go extra tight? What kind of tools were we using?
Yeah. Well, you can't go too tight. You tighten it too much, it's gonna be all loose because you just wear out the threading. So you got to be careful. That's
true. It's a great point, John. Yeah. Anybody watching this that happens to have the scaffolding seats, we'll call them scaffolding seats. Let us know how you're feeling about it before and after.
Yeah, no, for sure.
A little questionable. Sorry, tangent. With the seats.
But that's a seat. But yeah, that's Group B for us. We have Canada, Tim has Switzerland coming out with Canada. I have Bosnia coming out with Canada. Group C: Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. Who do you got, Tim?
I'm going to go Morocco and Scotland. You convinced me that Brazil is going to be in shambles. And I just, I think Morocco's got something. I'd love to root for Haiti, but yeah, I don't think that there's enough there. But Scotland, yeah, I'm convinced. A little bit of a dark horse possibility.
Yeah, impossible. Yeah, I have Morocco, Scotland, but most likely I think it'll be Brazil, Morocco. But like I said, I do feel like Brazil is the one team that will choke this tournament. So Morocco has a great team players. Like I say, Scotland's coming back to the World Cup after being gone for so long from the tournament, and they probably have a lot. If you haven't seen it, I don't know if I sent it to you. Ewan McGregor made their little entrance video.
So badass.
Very cool.
You did send it.
And pumped me up. So I was like, okay, I like Scotland.
Yeah, so. If you have Obi-Wan making your promo vid, you're using the Force all tournament. Badass.
Yeah. People should dress up in like Jedi outfits with their with the national team jersey, huh?
Oh yeah, I got to go on my ancestry, see how much Scottish I have in me. Might change sides there. I'm just a European mutt, John, so I could probably just transform every rooting country I have.
That's funny. Yeah, you can. Yep. And then Haiti, a small country. Kudos to them for making it and being part of this tournament. It's history making for them. So glad to see them. Hopefully they don't get embarrassed, but you never know.
Yeah. No, it's great that they're there.
Yeah. Group D, we have USA, Paraguay, Australia, Turkey. I will say this is what I'm calling my group of death. This is the one group that I just don't know how it's going to go. It could go either way. But I have USA and Turkey coming out of this group. Australia is a solid squad. I don't know if you saw them playing Mexico I think it was last weekend. They played pretty well. And then Paraguay coming back after, being gone from the tournament for, I think, just one cycle. Also a solid team that's always from South America. So I think USA, Turkey, USA has the home field advantage. And like I say, Turkey, I think it's just a sleeper for me.
For sure. Yeah, I too have Turkey in the U.S. out of this one. But I completely see what you're saying about this being the group of death. You mentioned this when these groups first came out. And, since then I've kind of looked into each team kind of briefly and, crazy good talent. Just all around in this group. And, but I will say, after watching those highlights with the friendly this past weekend, the U.S., I have a lot more confidence in them than I thought I did. Okay. Just their shots on goal looked amazing. It just seemed like they were getting a bit unlucky with their shots. But yeah, I don't know. I just can't really. It's been a minute since we've seen the U.S. team kind of look the way they did.
The weekend. They played really well. They played really well in that game against Germany. Great way to sort of end your pre-World Cup games. There's still a lot of question marks for me. But like I say, this is a squad. I've heard a lot of people talking about USA is going to win it. And I'm like, I don't see it. But I will say, like, if USA could play perfect games, if they get out of this group stage and then they just are playing perfect games against some of these top squads, they have a chance. They have a fighting chance, But like I say, it's that will. It's that fight for that country in your country that you have. And hey, maybe it could be our year. When South Korea, when the World Cup was in South Korea, nobody thought South Korea was going to make it to the third place game or even one game away from making it to the finals. Hey, that could be USA, that could be Mexico, that could be Canada this year.
Yeah, no, for sure. Could be, but yeah, I don't know. Just after the performances, I'm kind of too a little hush hush on those
Yeah.
USA vibes, especially after that chant. We need to clean that up. That is just
we need to get
T-ball.
better. It's very amateur, and we've had 4 years to get ready. Whoever in the soccer federation that comes up with the chance or comes up with one for the US, they got to do better.
Gotta be a kindergarten teacher.
Maybe
gotta be. Just
could be.
I don't know if it was the audience singing it, but I don't think you could make those lyrics much better.
No, we're gonna be made fun of if it doesn't change by. I think we play Friday, so hopefully we hear something better.
What's crazy to me, John, is just even when it comes to college football, and we can think of like all the songs and stuff that goes along with each and every team. Like we can do something more badass than that. Like, come on, just say.
Yeah, no. Like I said, let's see what might change, because I think they've probably gotten a lot of pushback, a lot of hate on that video.
Hope so.
Something must be changing. We'll go to Group B. This is Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. Who do you got, Tim?
Well, for starters, of course, going to go with Germany. Just complete amateur mentality with this, Sean. Apologies to the audience. You're not getting a whole lot out of my end of the spectrum on some of these teams. I'm going to go Ecuador, just because I've just heard the name of relevancy there, and Shakira's from Ecuador, right? So
Colombia.
I thought she was Ecuadorian. No, I'm thinking of Christina Aguilera, I think.
Yeah, I think that
she's Ecuadorian. Yeah. Dang it, can't even go with that talking point. It's going to be like the FIFA World Cup song. You got it. Scratch that. Amateur hour. But Ecuador just seems like they've been there and will be competitive.
Yeah. No, yeah, I got Germany. It's pretty simple with this group. And then I've been going back and forth between Ecuador and Ivory Coast. I'm going to go Ivory Coast. I think they're going to get out of this group. I liked how they played. I think they played France and beat France in a friendly.
There you go.
So, like I say, I'm going with some of these teams off of momentum, how they ended these last few games before the World Cup, because it means a lot. It's gonna go a long way. So I have Germany, Ivory Coast, but Ecuador's right there as well.
Excellent. Germany's got that one in hand, though, huh?
Yeah, they should. Like I said, the Curacao team, it's one of the smallest countries in the World Cup this year. So, and it's their first time ever in a World Cup. So I think they're just happy to be there. Shout out to them, though. I think one of the cleanest away jerseys, the yellow, like yellow tint jersey.
Yes.
It's one of the cleaner jerseys.
You sent me the bus video for them too, right?
Yeah.
Just immaculate vibes.
Yeah.
That team, talk about momentum.
Beat down bus with no windows at all. Like, that's just...
Now we're talking. Yes. I like the mentality. Curacao, very good at baseball. I believe Andrew Jones is from Curacao, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think that's correct. They're pretty competitive Little League World Series. So it's just long story short, John, athletic country. I think that they could be very good. If it's not this go around, I think hopefully we see a lot more of them in the future.
Yeah, I think we will see more of them in the future, possibly. So next, Group F, we have the Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, Tunisia. This one is also a pretty tough group, but I have the Netherlands and Sweden coming out of this group. I think Netherlands are the most dominant team out of this group. And then it's sort of between Japan and Sweden. And I think Sweden, I knew Sweden a lot more back in the day, about probably 10 years ago, what that squad looked like compared to now. But they're always a contender, and always have some solid players. So in Japan, like I say, I think Japan has the same mindset as like Korea. So they're going to be fighting every single minute.
Yes. Netherlands have Holland, right?
No, that's Norway.
Nice. Learn as we go here, everybody. This bracket, though, just watch me just like nail some of these. That'd be hilarious.
You probably will.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Japan. You talked a lot about. I'm gonna go Japan taking this bracket. Actually, I think they'll be first out. Then I'll go Netherlands. Could be completely wild prediction, but I do think Japan could be a bit of a dark horse here in this FIFA tournament altogether. I know you spoke very highly of them, maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, John. Kind of got me motivated. Just Japan is like, they've gotten better every go around, correct? Like they've just been a team that's building. Soccer's probably becoming a lot more popular over there. So I'll go Japan first out, then I'll go Netherlands shortly after. Netherlands dealing with injuries though, right?
Yeah, they dealt with one of their key players out for the tournament. So, but they still have a lot of great solid players. So, but like I say, it's that momentum. You lose a guy that was such a big piece of your team, it could throw your chi around, and you might just have some bad games because of it.
Yeah, and I think Japan's coming in with some good chi, and I like it. Hot take. There you go.
Hot take. All right, Group G, we have Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Who do you got, Tim?
I'm gonna go Belgium. Belgium for this one. Then I'm gonna go New Zealand.
Well, we'll call that a very bold take. Bold take.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's a little bold. You know what? Why not? It's just F it. Run with it. I'll stick with it. I'll stick with New Zealand. Why not?
Hey, and like I say, you can never be wrong. New Zealand is the one. The player Tim Payne. He's the one that.
That's the one.
He had 5,000 followers and now over 5 million. So
I'm a Tim.
Hey, that could be momentum for New Zealand to play hard and get out of this group. Like I say, quality wise, they're probably not the best, but against Iran and Egypt, they probably could manage. I saw one of their friendlies, and they were able to hold up against the teams. So it's possible. Long shot, but it's possible.
Did they do the haka dance before?
I didn't see that. I didn't see if they did.
If they do that though, intimidation factor,
it could
99.
Be. Yeah,
I'd be like, wow. I'd also be like in awe, like great performance kind of thing.
Yeah.
F it, New Zealand. Why not?
Yeah.
Run with it.
Okay, that's a good one. I have Belgium coming out. Belgium, solid squad. I think this is another squad that could make it far into a tournament and even win it. But for me, they've always been a choke artist of a team. They could just never put it together in the tournament. So, but Belgium, I have them getting out of the group. And then I have Egypt. Egypt has Mo Salah, Liverpool, or probably ex-Liverpool player. Hasn't been to a World Cup in a while, so I think he's going to be putting a lot for his country. So I see Egypt coming out of it. But yeah, I don't mind that New Zealand take, actually, too, now that I think of it a bit.
Yeah? Imagine. I'm going to make a mixtape of that if it comes to fruition. That's going to be wild.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's a great vacation spot. Maybe I'll just go visit them after if they make it pretty far. I believe since day one.
Yes. They'll welcome you with open arms over there.
Yes. They're New Zealand's better than Belgium waffles. How about that?
Yeah.
That's questionable too. Waffles are really good. Too far. Too far.
We'll go to Group H. Group H, we have Spain, Cabo Verde, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay. This is, I think, one of the most obvious ones for me. But like I say, obvious on paper, could be totally different during the tournament. But I have Spain coming out of this, and then Uruguay getting out of it as well.
I really like Cabo Verde. Just kidding. Really sad. I like the name of the country. Not gonna lie. Got to figure out where that is regionally. Sounds like a good little spot. But yeah, gonna go Spain or Uruguay. Two powerhouses, right? This is just one of those groups that I think that just two standouts.
Yeah.
Continuously there.
Yeah. So then we'll go to Group I. We got France, Senegal, Iraq, and Norway. So I'll let you start.
Yep. So gonna go with the obvious. Gonna go with France. For one of the teams, and then we talked a little bit about them last week. Another dark horse possibility. I kind of like Senegal out of this group. I think that they had they tied with the U.S. right in that one game, if I'm not mistaken. It's a team that's really athletic. I think that they can, keep up. It's an up and coming team, right? This is one of those teams
they've always been pretty decent. They've had like some star players that play like in the bigger clubs, and then a lot of players that just are still part of European soccer. But yeah, it's always fast squad. Always they're a quick team for me.
Got it. Yeah, I like it. I like the speed. Gonna go France and Senegal, but France is I think a pretty easy.
Yeah, easy pick for that one. Yeah. For Group I got France getting out of it, number one. And then I want to go. I'm going to go Norway. Erling Haaland making it to his first World Cup. I think they got a pretty good squad that could get through, but it's going to be a tough one to get through Senegal. It's going to be between Senegal and Norway, but I am Norway squeaking in.
Okay. Yeah.
Group J, we got Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. This one also, just like the Germany group, or the Spain group, pretty obvious. At least for number one, Argentina. Argentina should get out of this group easily, but never say never. Then I think I'm going to go Austria. I think that's the team I know the most about. I think Algeria is a pretty solid squad too, but I just think Austria will come out of this.
Yeah, I have the same too. Out of this group, Argentina and Austria. Probably just the most common.
Yeah.
Well-known names. I don't know too much about the other squads in this group, but would be interesting to see if one of these squads comes out out of the gates, with a lot to kind of show.
Yeah. Group K, we got Portugal, the DR Congo, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. What do you
got? Portugal and Colombia for this group. Kind of talked a bit about Portugal. Obviously, Ronaldo, arguably not even the best part of that team. Going to be super competitive. Colombia, been very good in years past, right? Always pretty competitive team. Just one of those great South American countries when it comes to football this time of year. Going to go with them too out of this group.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. I think Portugal, Colombia get out of this one. Colombia, this is a squad that some of their players, they make a name for themselves in the World Cup. It was, I think, in Brazil where James Rodriguez had his coming out party at the World Cup and then signed to Real Madrid. So, like I say, it's one player and he's coming back to the World Cup. And he always plays well. So, I think they're a solid squad. And then Portugal, we talked Portugal already. They should get out of it. And then last group, we got Group L: England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. This one's going to be a little hard. I have England coming out of it. I think they should take care of business. Hopefully the English can keep up with the humidity, where their games are. Then I'm going to go Ghana. I'm going to go the Black Stars. This is a team that always surprises in the World Cup and plays really well. So I think they're going to get out. I think a lot of people are going to have Croatia, but I have Ghana getting out of this group with England.
Got it. How's Panama looking?
Panama's probably the lowest team of this group.
I'll go Croatia, and I'll follow your coattails here with Ghana.
Okay.
I like what you're talking about with them. And I just kind of, it sounds, just like one of those lesser known teams, maybe that, can pack a punch. And just the English are just going to really hate me this week.
We're just straight England bashing. And like I said, this is going to be a hot take for you, or one of our banter takes, but I'll let you do it right now.
Excellent. Love it.
I'm going to send it to you while we're still in this and not in banter takes. I think it's just perfect for what you've been saying this whole segment.
Love this.
Let's see what you say.
Into reality. Excellent. England is the Dallas Cowboys of world soccer. The timing is immaculate on this one, John. Well done. And yes, absolutely. Very easy to speak to. It's always their year, right? Just never happens. They have this big support group, arguably the biggest fan base in all of World Cup soccer, lies in England. And it's just, that's exactly what the Dallas Cowboys are of the NFL. Arguably the biggest fan group, always their year, always things clicking together, big names, Jerry Jones, you name it, everything's going to go right for them. And then it doesn't. And then same thing with England. England comes in, the squad's looking really good. This is one of the best English teams in years, blah, blah, blah. This is different, yada, yada, yada. And then we get to this past weekend, the humidity is a problem. It just seems like they have 99 problems, and just losing is probably going to be one as well. Yeah. And then, you pair that in with the pitch wasn't very good for them. I believe that they're complaining about the pitch in their friendly that they had. And I guess they were showing uniformity with who'd they play over the weekend? I forget who it was.
I can't remember who they played.
Yeah. They played somebody. I know both teams kind of felt the same way about the field conditions weren't very good. Yeah, well, we've seen Premier League teams or Champions League possibilities, like the Wolves played somebody in England this year that it was just a literally like a pig pen. It was like a mud pile.
Oh, the muddy one, yeah.
Good Lord, yeah. It was just crazy. And so it's like, man, and that's not even, I don't even think that was like a FIFA field. Like it was not even something that they're going to play on an actual game. So chill out a bit. Literally chill out a bit, maybe go find something to deal with the humidity a bit more. We have, those like cold towels you can put around your neck. I know that there's not a whole lot of it. We do have air conditioning here. I know England, they don't really have as much because it's typically cold, and I get that. But there's ways around it, guys. You'll get used to it. Don't worry. But just don't at me too bad when, I bet you guys will advance, but I'm just saying, I don't know. It just seems a little soft to start at.
Yeah. There's a lot of good arguments that they look like the Dallas Cowboys of American football, a team that is always, fan base is always pumping them up. They're going to be the best team. They're winning a Super Bowl. It's our year. Sometimes they do well, but then they choke in the playoffs, Cowboys, a lot of great memories. And I call them great because it's always fun to see them lose in the playoffs in heartbreaking fashion. It just shows that they suck. So England, the Three Lions, that's their nickname. Probably looks scary when you first look at it, but once you get close to them and you're in the knockout stage, they're the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz. They can't do anything. They make it into the groups or into the knockout rounds, but they always fumble it. They're always fumbling it with, just bad plays, just not on top of their game. And like I say, it's a team that I could see maybe winning it this year, but we're the USA. We're not going to let England win on our home turf. So,
Mhm.
but I'm not going to go as far to say that they're not getting out of the group, or as much as
Come
you've
on,
been.
John. John, you know you want to join me.
Not at the moment, and it's not that I'm not trying to hate on trying to get them on my good
No.
side and on your bad side, but it's just like I've liked the squad. I want
Yep.
to see if they do well. I hope they do, but I do see them also being choke artists. Um, and like I said, I think when people probably see this, they probably are going to think just from the looks of it that I'm the hater on England, and they're probably thinking you're English, and they're going to, once they watch it, they'll be like, what is going on with this wanker?
Wanka. They're all gonna the shame this podcast.
Oh man.
Oh man. Somebody if you have 2 extra tickets to one of these English matches, let us know. We would love to be in attendance at all. Just take it in. But yeah, you brought up the 3 lions, Sean. And I thought of something, you realize it's 3 lions. You said cowardly lions. You get a little closer to these lions, and you just realize that they're just a bunch of cats.
It could be.
The 3 cats.
3 cats.
There's other words for it. Just deal with the warmth,
Yeah.
Figure it out. I'm just I get it. It gets hot.
Mm-hmm.
We live in a warm climate here in California. Been there, done that. I sweat my ass off. I was sweating all through the arcade the other day. The heat, will get to me. But yeah, you got to work through it. And I don't think you talk about it, because then, what if the opposing team accidentally puts heaters on your sideline instead of fans?
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're playing on the U.S. turf. It's not saying it's going to happen. No collusion here, but yeah, this is a great talking point, John. You bring up the playoffs. That's another great point. You can't handle the big games. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Will Wolves fans still accept me with this take? Is the problem. I hope they do.
I think
would love to go to Molyneux one day.
They'll forgive you eventually, because they know it's not fully you. They would hate you maybe for a bit because you didn't support the squad. But like I said, the Wolves, they have people from all, not just England, other countries. So
that's true.
It's more accepting. But yeah, that's our Wolfpack soccer check-in. Like I say, we'll probably talk a lot more soccer coming up with the World Cup, review some of the games, what we've seen. But we'll go into our banter takes. So it's time for our banter takes. This is where we don't prep each other. There's no warnings, no ideas what's going to come next. So each week we bring our hottest takes to the table without telling each other beforehand. So every reaction, every disagreement, every meltdown is completely real. Some takes will be smart, some takes will be terrible, and at least one of us will probably upset an entire fan base. So we'll get into our takes. And my first take: college football isn't thriving because of its leadership. It's surviving despite it. Every court ruling feels like another reminder that nobody running the sport knows where it's headed. Yeah, like I say, anytime I see anything with college sports, and even just college football, it's just so messy. Like all this NIL stuff, there isn't any order to it. And I understand players needing to get paid, especially if you're using their likeness for stuff. But there's like no control over it. There's like no governing body that I think really looks at the NIL or seeing where this is going to go in the next few years. Because like I say, transfer portals are happening so much more. And it's sort of taking that integrity out of this game. So who's running college football? You could say it's the colleges. It's the big name schools. Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, Notre Dame, Texas, that's who's running college football right now. And the NCAA board or AD athletic, directors of the entire NCAA college football program, they're just probably reeling in the money. They're probably just caring about getting paid, get a nice little chunk and then bounce and let college football just maybe get destroyed in the future. So, like I say, leadership it's lacking because there still isn't any control. I think we've talked about it. There needs to be an answer to this NIL. I think once you answer NIL, not just in football but all of sports, you'll have better outcomes than what you currently have in college football.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's been an ongoing issue. We've talked a lot about it when it comes to NIL and the troubles that are kind of ensuing with this. But a big one over this, I believe it was today, was a court ruling with Brendan SORSBY, the quarterback for Texas Tech, and admitted to betting on games, I think, throughout his entire collegiate career. Right. And he has bet, I guess, upwards of $90,000. He's placed somewhere between, I think they said, 8,000 to 9,000 different bets on games. He bets on his own teams. He bets on other sports and the amount of money that he put into it. But the weird thing, weird, however you want to look at it, angry-ish, whatever frustrating part of it, is that the judge ruled in his favor today and said that he can play this season. And I guess that he's only getting like a 2-game suspension, even though he's literally gambled on his own games. Yeah. And this is setting a precedent that is getting into some really murky waters where, and this goes beyond just college football. This goes into professional sports. We've seen it with, going back to the 70s with Pete Rose. This is something that's been around forever and ever. And with the easy access to sports betting, it's becoming just something that's always in the minds of these athletes or really anybody that is, in these generations. But there's this precedent that it is seemingly okay for some judges that he's doing stuff like this. This is going to affect all Texas Tech games, in my opinion. Like, can you rely on this person? He got away with it. He can do it, openly admitted to it, and still gets to play. And then you coincide that with, what teams are they going to play? They've talked about scheduling. There's been a lot of people kind of talking about blackballing Texas Tech, not only for football, but just all programs across the board because of this, which I think is a little unfair. I think that you can single out football for this unless you have something that's more systemic. But it's becoming a really big deal, with this going on, because that's a substantial amount of money. And, God knows if it affected the way that he was playing these games as well. I don't mind the fact that maybe a lot of these schools don't play Texas Tech this upcoming season, unless the program decides to do something independently with SORSBY, removing him from the team or full season suspension. I don't know what it is, but yeah. And then one thing that really bothers me about this too, John, it takes me back to the Trinidad Chambliss ruling where he couldn't be eligible for his final season, but it's okay for SORSBY to be eligible. I think it's so ass backwards, just thinking about these two things where you have Chambliss, who became a really big name. I think he started at a JC or maybe a D2, D3 school, worked his way up, had an incredible season this year with Ole Miss. And then for them not to grant him eligibility, I think is just bullshit. And then it's like, oh, it's okay, though, that you're gambling. Like, college sports, I get it. The NIL stuff, it's good for the athlete. It was necessary. But to have no governance going into any of this and then to look for Congress to try to figure it out, I don't think is the right step either. You need to have something internal, undivided attention to kind of govern this because it's out of control. It's really bad.
That's bad. I didn't know about that. And like I said, when it comes to gambling, all other sports entities like the NFL, NBA, if you get caught gambling, you're pretty much gone for life from the NBA, and you could even go to jail. We've seen it these past years. I think Terry Rozier's one, right?
Yep, Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey Billups, there's a lot. And like I said, especially gambling on games that either you could play in or you have an advantage because you know players on it. It pretty much is illegal in all sports. So why is NCAA allowing it? I don't know. Why SORSBY, Texas Tech isn't a big prestigious program, I think. Biggest player coming out of there is probably Patrick Mahomes, Michael Crabtree. Those are the top two.
Crabtree. Yeah.
I say, if anything, start investigating Patrick Mahomes and suspend him from the NFL. Who knows what he's been doing? Since
what kind of
Texas
influence
Tech.
does he have over there?
I know. He's a star there. Why are people going over there and betting? There's something going on there. But like, what they're doing, letting Congress do that. It also like Congress not ruling in the favor that they normally should rule, letting this go, not punishing it. It's telling people that it's okay to do it because now someone else could get a gamble on games. They get caught and be like, hey, you didn't do it to SORSBY, you can't punish me because I'm going to countersue you, because it doesn't make sense,
Yep.
So it's just going to hurt the integrity of this league of football. And yeah, I think there's a lot of teams that are probably going to not want to play Texas Tech. Who knows how they'll be good, but who knows? They probably may come back to SORSBY separately after hearing all the backlash and how teams are feeling, and make it okay. But like I say, the way it's going right now, it's not a good look for them.
Yeah, no doubt. And it even like on a broader scale of things, I think, back to the days when you remember with Ohio State, like back with Terrell Pryor when he was there and they got in trouble for the tattoos that, they were comp tattoos, I think is all it was for like in exchange for some gear, autographs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you think about how harsh they were with that ruling where, the coach has to leave program, and then there's like just kind of a sour, eye on the program for a few years and blah, blah, blah. And then you just have what we've come to today. Like, if I were Reggie Bush, I'm glad he finally got his Heisman back. But it's like, I just think about all these things and it's like, dude, like what hypocrites. And then you think about all these other players. I think that there's maybe an Iowa State or Iowa player. He's a quarterback, I believe, that got in trouble a couple of years ago for sports gambling as well. And they ruled, against him, obviously following the rules, whatever. And I think he lost his scholarship and wasn't able to play again. But then you have this go on. It's like, okay, what case does he now have?
Yeah.
To go against the NCAA. So I don't know. But is there even an entity of the NCAA that you can go after at this point? I don't even know.
I don't think there is.
Yeah, I'm genuinely confused. Like, do you go after programs? Like, who do you go after?
I think you might have to go after the program and sort of have force their hand to do the right thing and suspend, SORSBY. I think that's the only way to sort of get out of this clean on your own end as a university of like, yes, he did wrong. I know he wasn't found guilty, but integrity wise of the game, of what we know about the sport, the history of it, what we've done in the past, we cannot allow him to play for our team, with those accusations and him admitting guilt to sports betting. Because like I say, if they do that, I think people will be a lot more accepting of Texas Tech. He'll probably go into the portal, but like, what team is really going to touch him? It's going to be Division 2, maybe Division 3.
Maybe. And then at that point, it's like, what's the point? Because NFL teams sure won't. They won't want to go anywhere near you.
No. Yeah.
It's an issue. It's a character issue at that point too.
Yeah. So, that's crazy. Well, we'll see what comes from this. But yeah, that was interesting. Sports betting, man, that's just getting big, and,
yeah.
Well, we'll
it's
see
a bummer. Yeah, well, we'll see if it ever gets resolved. But it's like,
Yeah.
what's kind of ironic with this too, John. Just one final point for me is like, you go on, if you're watching ESPN throughout the day, you get like an advertisement for daily sports betting, and then you have the story breakout. And it's like,
Yeah.
just the promotion for it, and then it's like, oh, but here
Yeah.
we're going to give a harsh criticism of this ruling
Yeah.
too. It's a hot mess. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a big mess, but all right. I'll send you my one take I have.
All right, got my take here. A movie isn't a real blockbuster unless it plays in theaters. Netflix spends hundreds of millions of dollars making movies, then dumps them onto a platform where they're forgotten within a week. Imagine movies like Glass Onion, The Gray Man, or Electric State had real theater runs. Instead of becoming events, they become content. Netflix is creating disposable movies. Yes, I completely agree, and I feel like that's what they've done with, a lot of like the person I really think about because he was kind of one of the first was Adam Sandler. I think about a lot of his movies, you know, that he's released, like Happy Gilmore 3 or 2, whatever it was, 2, right? It was the only sequel to Happy Gilmore. It got some attention. A lot of people were watching it, but then it like within a couple days, like everybody kind of realized like, okay, there's you have the time to watch it anywhere at home. Whereas, you're making time, an actual effort to go out to a movie theater to see a certain film. You're not doing it with these Adam Sandler movies. You're not doing it with any other Netflix movies that come out. And then the problem is too, that you run into is they're all distributed on several sites. Like, you have one movie that's like, oh, that's an Apple TV movie, or, oh no, that's on Netflix, or that one released on HBO. Like, me personally, unless I was like really seeking it out, like I'm going to have to surf each one, Google it or something. Whereas, we can think of like, a big movie coming out, The Odyssey. Everybody go watch it, please. It's going to be a great film. It'd be really good for my box office game. But it's, you think about a movie like that, it's going to be released in theaters. Like, okay, blind yourself and just point to your nearest movie theater and go watch it. It's going to be a given. It'll be there. So, it's, and that's what makes it feel like it's a big deal, a big movie. It's something that, you physically can't find it at home. You're going to have to go to the theater to watch it. And I think that's a really big part of it. It's, going to a theater to have to unlock it. I know sometimes Disney Plus, for example, you can pay $20-$30, see it a little bit earlier, at home. They did it throughout COVID. It's becoming less of a thing now. But it's just one of those things where it kind of gives that feeling too. Like, back in the day, like I tell you how many times I brought this up, but with Jen, now that she's kind of really into Star Wars, episode 1, when that came out, I just vividly, the moment of getting in line with my father, and the line is wrapping down the block around the corner just to get into the movie. And it was like a matinee, it wasn't even like a primetime showing of it. It made it feel like, wow, this is a big ass movie right now. And this is just one theater. And then you think about like all the other theaters. I wonder what those look like, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it gives that feeling. You can't really get that when you're at home. Yes, it's very convenient, but it doesn't touch what you get in a theater.
Yeah, no, it doesn't hit the same way. You can't call it a blockbuster, even though they report the numbers of how these movies do streaming. I still would never consider a blockbuster. And, what the film chief, Dan Lin, sort of said, that the theater model is something that they feel is outdated and they're not following through. And they pretty much said any filmmaker that like is insisting like this needs a theater release, they're like, we're not working with you. They're not even talking to them in the conversation. They just want straight to streaming movies. And like I say, I think even Ted Sarandos, the CEO, has said it before that, movie theaters and theater releases are outdated, but I beg to differ. like I say, I enjoy going to the movie theaters. I'll say I am one that goes to them almost every weekend, or at least once a week if we could, and if we can with babysitting. And like you mentioned with Star Wars, the experiences you have in the theater are just amazing and make the movie fun. Like, imagine Happy Gilmore out in theaters with all those other Happy Gilmore fans. It probably would have hit so much more differently.
No
You
doubt.
know, the odd like I've watched Oppenheimer, streaming, here once it came out streaming. Still was an amazing movie to see, but it didn't hit the same way it hit when I saw it in movie theaters. So, what Netflix is doing, I think it's a disservice. Like I say, some of the movies that they've done, The Gray Man. I don't if you haven't watched it on Netflix, it's a great movie with Ryan Gosling, but it's like, man, this could have made so much money in theaters and been talked about so much more. But when you release it on streaming, it gets talked about for maybe a week because everybody watches it the week it comes out and then it's sort of forgotten. You don't think about it anymore. Whereas, look at Obsession right now. It's a movie that came out about a month ago, still being talked about every single week, still making more money every single week for one of the lowest budget movies, I think, of all time. I saw a news article that on its third, I think its third week or fourth, um, it's making still more money than expected. The last movie that did this was E.T. back in the 80s.
Damn.
So it shows that they're changing history with Obsession. But like I say, that experience watching that movie in theaters was also so much more different. I think I'll still enjoy watching it here at home, but watching it in theaters with laughing in some scenes with everybody else, feeling nervous with other people, you could feel the anxiety just in the whole theater. That's what a movie theater experience for me is about. And I'll sort of talk about during Reels on the Rock, Scary Movie. Went to watch that this weekend.
Okay.
And like I say, I think watching it in that environment made it made it better than what the movie probably was. So Netflix, like I say, they're about streaming, but not releasing anything in theaters. I think they said the only movie they're releasing in theaters is Narnia that is getting created right now, but after that, everything else isn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this topic completely nails it. And, quite frankly, it kind of coincided with the second take I had for you, which I'll just say it, is horror is the new superhero genre. And I feel like it's literally, obviously this podcast, we've been talking about it since day one, how big horror fans we are. Like this is stuff like whether it comes to gaming, it comes to, premieres. Like, yeah, I had the incredible opportunity to go watch Conjuring 2 when it released on the Warner Studios backlot. That was amazing. And the reaction to that, how creepy it was, blah, blah, blah. Super awesome. Great experience. And then just the experience in general of going to watch a movie like that. We've talked about it on this show. I bring it up all the time where Paranormal Activity, where, we're local to, a town of Moore Park, California. See that pop up on the screen. Everybody's like, oh my God. It's like, we all know it. So the audience reaction is a big thing. Audience reaction when, I went to go see Marvel Endgame. And just everybody, like, obviously coming through the portals, the crowd is going nuts. Still gives me chills. Like, just such a badass moment in movie theatrics, history, really. And, you get that out of Star Wars movies. You get that out of any really big release. And then, I'm glad you brought up Obsession because I read an article that, I guess even going into third, fourth week, like you mentioned, it could eclipse, I guess, like $300 million in the box office. Just extraordinary. Just incredible. And the budget for the film was thousands.
I think
750,
780,000.
Unreal. And see, that's where like that horror thing is becoming, more prevalent. A lot of these horror films are very low budget and they're able to make it happen. What was it? The Blair Witch. very low budget, right? And
that was.
it one of the all-time best horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened all throughout history with these films.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too sure what the budget was for like The Exorcism way back when. I'm sure in today's money it probably wasn't even that much, but just the scenes that they create and the way that they can make them creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap! I will always have nightmares of that girl spider walking backwards down the stairs. It just F's me up. But that's also why it's so big. And if we want to talk about cash grabs, I hope it doesn't turn into that, because it takes away from like the theatrics of it all. And I don't think it'll get to that point, because it is tough to pull off a good horror movie. We've seen a ton of duds. Don't get me wrong. But when we have good ones, it's it'll leave you thinking, because it scares the crap out of you.
Yeah, it'll leave you thinking, and like I think that's what I like about horror a lot now, is the directors that they pick for these movies are actual like horror geniuses and horror mindset, because you can't, like I say, I Christopher Nolan can maybe make a horror movie, but I don't think it'd be as good as someone that's really horror minded. Christopher Nolan thinks the big picture, blockbuster, the guy that does Transformer, Michael Bay.
Michael Bay.
Yeah, like him making a horror movie, I don't think it's too much explosions for me for a horror.
Shit ton of explosions.
So it's like it would probably still be seen quite a bit, but it wouldn't have the same talk and the same energy that the horror movies that have come out in the last year are taking more audience into horror. Because if you think about it, there was a time people didn't like watching horror because they got too scared and it wasn't their cup of tea. But now everybody's watching it because everybody's talking about it, and now everybody wants to continue watching these directors, these creative mindsets, and see what they do next. Curry Barker, his next movie is already getting a lot of rave, and a lot of people are excited to watch it. I think it has a higher budget, and it's probably going to break a lot of records, and A24 pretty much gave him like the rights. They're like, you're doing the next Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so he's going to start creating that, and you could only think of what his mind is going to go through. And the guy that made Backrooms, Backrooms will cost $10 million to make. If you look at the stars in that, big names, the chick in that movie, an Oscar nominee this last season. So, but it's already, I think in the first week made about 80 million, still made quite a bit of money this week. So horror is that new genre. I think superhero fatigue, we've talked about it a bit, is a bit here. It comes and goes. I think with Spider-Man and Avengers, superheroes are going to be on the up and up. Superman helped that. Supergirl will help it, and then it just starts declining, after a while, for some time, until the next big movie comes out. So I think horror is the new genre. I think we're finally happy because we've talked about horror having to be the big hit, getting those award recognition, and Amy Madigan winning for Weapons as Best Supporting Actress, I think is the start to horror being recognized as true art, and filmmaking. Yep.
Yeah, and speaking of that film, that ice cream truck one, whatever movie that was, I think I sent you the trailer to it, or you sent it to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do it, dude. Like, too much fucking gore. Oh my gosh. Like, wow. Scary as hell, probably. But I don't think I could eat during it.
No. You got to eat before.
And that says a lot. That says a lot for me. Not eating during a movie. Like, it takes a lot. I need something. And it's just not a movie. I'll probably still end up watching it at some point, but it's, I love it. And, you mentioned superhero fatigue. We're just kind of running out of storylines. They got to make a new character. I thought those Marvel spinoffs were great. Daredevil, stuff like Punisher. It's good. Has the new Punisher came out yet? I think it did, right? They dropped it.
I think it might have, but like I said, that's the one thing with like superheroes. Like it comes out on Disney Plus or whatever.
Yep.
I'm just not as interested into it anymore. It's just the one that I'm like, if I get a chance, I'll watch it, but I'll watch other things first.
I agree. It was one of those ones that was really great during COVID times because it's like you have that or nothing. But yeah, no, it's different. But yeah, shout out Curry Barker, Obsession, horror genre in general. It's on the up and up. Oh, and then with that new Curry Barker film, I guess it's going to be a good twist of horror and comedy, which seems to be his two wheelhouses, and then Aaron Paul starring in it. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Big name actor. Yep.
Yeah, there's some bigger names in this next one, so I think it'll be a good one. But yeah, that's our banter takes for this week. Agree or disagree? I think one of us lost our mind. One of our takes is completely out there. Let us know in the comments. Drop your banter in the comments. And yeah, just let us know. But we'll go into our next segment, our Banter Sportsbook. So this is where we put all our sports knowledge, predictions, and our sports reputation on the line. So from the biggest games and hottest storylines to championship talk, surprise contenders, bold predictions, we're covering everything that happens across the sports world. So no betting slip is required here. This is just sports talk, strong opinions, and plenty of banter. So we're going to open up our books and we'll start with the NBA final recap. We had game 3 today. Spurs taking a W. Helps you with your prediction. You have the Spurs. I have the Knicks. 2-1 after tonight. Good game from the Spurs. I think the Knicks lost this one. I think they got into a lot of foul trouble. I was looking. Brunson, foul trouble towards the end of the third, not playing much of the fourth. Mikal Bridges, also first quarter, 2 quick fouls. Took him out of his rhythm. So I think they probably lost it more than the Spurs won. But, man, Spurs just look pretty solid tonight. Wemby,
absolutely.
Castle.
Yeah. Castle over 20 points. Wemby looked Wemby-like. You mentioned with fouls, a lot of those foul calls going the Spurs' way. There is a, in my opinion, it was really questionable with Champagny. I believe is how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
That 3-ball, not a flagrant. This is where your problem is, NBA. I get it. You have to sell the foul. You have to sell the call. Brunson, hand in the face, typical defense. It's not his fault that Champagny's finishing his legs way out in front of him.
Yeah.
Obviously doing it on purpose. Not a flagrant. Should have been common foul, if you even want to call it that. I don't even know. But, that's just kind of how the night went. It was a role reversal, really. Spurs had leads in the final minutes of the first game 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Ended up losing both games. Spurs didn't, they had the lead going into the half, considerable lead. Spurs really took over, that third quarter. Then the Knicks kind of built another 8 to 10 point lead and then just kind of gave it up. And Spurs held on to it all the way through. Had it on lock. Defense was very swarming from the Spurs. I do want to shout out Karl Anthony Towns. All throughout this series and playoffs, his defense has just been very, very good. He was always a guy that was seen as very passive, terrible defense when he's with the Wolves. Completely different player. And this coaching staff, I feel like, has done a really good job. Again, going for the Spurs with this finals. But I can't speak highly enough of Mike Brown. I feel like that dude is just one of the best coaches ever. Really like that guy.
He is. He's shown it. He's been in these situations, and you mentioned it a few weeks ago. Sacramento's kicking themselves in the butt right now, letting him go, everything they did, and then letting the players go that they had on that team. They were on the up and up, and they just went down 40 years. now they have to rebuild again. So, but yeah,
Poverty franchise.
this is a solid team. What the games are, like I say, I like the Spurs. I like Wemby. I've always been a Wemby fan, but I'm picking the Knicks. And this is another reason I forgot to mention it last week why I want the Knicks to win. If Spurs win, CP3 wins a ring. I don't want that to happen because he was on the Spurs, so I think he gets a ring if Spurs win.
Was he on there this year?
Yeah, I think he was.
I think he was on the Clippers the whole year. And then remember he had the fallout with Tyronn Lue.
But
because I think
I feel like
that video of Chris Paul's like talking to Tyronn Lue's girlfriend or something. He walks up and he's all bad, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'm getting my season.
I could be wrong.
Things.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know he was there last year, and they were talking about like what a big benefit it would have been for CP3 to get there.
Yeah.
But what shoulda, coulda, woulda for CP3 if he leaves the team and they win. It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, for me, I still want the Knicks. It would have been amazing for them to win today, and then just finish it on Wednesday. Because I think I sent you the videos on how New York was preparing, and I don't know if they were preparing for the president to be show up in attendance to the game, or this is just how they prepped for the win. Just because New York, if they win it in New York, it's gonna be mayhem, just pure mayhem. And I think it's something we want to see, but it's also Spurs win. It just shows the future of basketball. Castle, Wemby, Harper. It's such a solid team and a young team that's going to be scary for the next few years.
No doubt. They've really benefited from these drafts, but also just ask a lot of these franchises who can't draft very well. They drafted well. They drafted the right people at the right spot. And that's exactly what they did with Castle, and that's exactly what they did with Harper. I don't even have to mention Wemby. That was arguably the most given number one overall pick outside of LeBron James of all time. So, they did everything right. And then it's the perfect destination for all these guys. The history with the Spurs, you think of Coach Pop, you think of, Robinson, you think of Tim Duncan, you think of Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. Every position, there's some type of veteran, future Hall of Famer that can be an additional coach, advisor to these players. So it's just one of those classic organizations that, will always be relevant. They're never going to let Wemby go. With the Spurs winning this game though, John, I'd be careful with momentum. I think that game 4 is a very real possibility. With a lot of this is the NBA Finals we wanted. We talked about it. We hoped the Thunder weren't going to make it. Luckily, they didn't. And we can have an NBA Finals we'd actually enjoy and tune into, and that's what we're getting. So much so, and I hate that I did this, but I'll admit to it on here. I did resubscribe to YouTube TV. I mentioned about a year ago, I said I'm tired of being monopolized with cable and increases of prices. And I'm like, I'll stick to other streaming platforms. I want it back. I want to be able to watch. Football season's around the corner, John. I need it.
Yeah.
I need it. So I did.
You need it. And like you mentioned, and we've talked about here, we didn't want the OKC Thunder in it. They just ruined basketball. I've been watching basketball because it's the teams I want to see, and it's real basketball. It's not that floppy and SGA stuff. It's worth it. It's entertaining, and it's probably, like I said, probably going to be one of the most watched finals in quite a bit. So I'm excited about it. Yeah, momentum. Spurs have it right now. New York has to cut that off game 4 before going back to San Antonio, because if you go down 3-2 in San Antonio coming back, momentum's with the Spurs, and Wemby's a dangerous guy. That's a guy you don't
Oh
want to
yeah.
give him that momentum. So um, let's see. It'll be a good game Wednesday, and I'm excited for it because, like I say, it's Wednesday night. You get to watch that, and then Thursday afternoon, World Cup starts. So sports, man. Normally this time of the year for us, it's quiet, a little boring, not much to talk about. We come up with other stuff, but World Cup, playoffs, it's been fun. So I'm excited.
Yes. We've been called this numerous times. We are generational ramblers,
Yeah,
yappers, I should say. And we always make it happen, but sports right now is making it so easy. And
yeah,
we are very lucky this summer being able to have, World Cup, a very
yeah,
competitive finals to hold us over. So that's
yeah.
great. And then we leeway right into NFL and college football stuff. So that's great.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, we'll go into a lot. So, and I think the last thing with just basketball or sportsbook segment, um, I've seen prices for the Nick tickets
Mm.
really high. If say you were a long life Nick fan, had season tickets, had some decent seats, but they were offering you, you know, 80K for your seats for game 3 or even game 4. Would you and say this, and this is the scenario. Knicks win today, game 4 on Wednesday, they're offering you 80K. And like I said, Knicks win, they win it all. Being there as lifelong Knick fan, a lot of them haven't seen a championship win in so many years. Would you give it up for that, or what would be the price for you to give up your seat?
No, I'd go. I'd absolutely go. And
Mhm.
quite frankly, if let's just say I had two tickets, I don't know why. Family of four, two tickets. Tickets. Yeah. Are we saying two tickets? How are we going to
Two
make this,
tickets.
John? Two
Two tickets
tickets?
only.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would go as far as trying to add two more and pay for two more, just to have everybody go. Because this, if anybody who enjoys sports, it's moments like that. Like, I get it. I've seen people say, watching it from home, it's priceless, blah, blah, blah. But being there in the moment, if the game 4 was setting up for the possibility that that's end all be all for that team, I'd be in attendance for sure. Especially if I had money to afford next season tickets, I'm doing fine. I think that you're at the point where you just enjoy it,
Yeah.
and reap the reward of sticking with the team as long as you did.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely would be one of those moments. I'd stick through it, and again, like I said, look for 2 additional tickets to try to get everybody in the door. How about you?
Yeah. I'm in the middle because, like I say, I'm like the experience. I think would be by far amazing. If I was a
Mm-hmm.
Nick fan, waiting for this day and finally being able to maybe experience it in person in New York, I wouldn't be able to sell for the world. But it's like, man, say you have a kid in college, a kid, trying to do something, a kid in travel ball. Travel ball is expensive.
That's a
Hey,
great point.
this could pay for like 5 years of travel ball. I could buy 2 more years of season tickets for the Knicks.
Thought about
Like
that. Yep.
it's tempting, but like I say, I don't think I've experienced such a long drought that I could answer it as great. I think you probably know it a little bit more because, like you mentioned, with your dad, the Cubs,
Mm-hmm.
finally being able to win it. If he had the chance to go, if he had season tickets to the Cubs, they could have won it. In Chicago, would he give him up? Most Cub fans would probably say no.
Mm-hmm.
They would not give it up for whatever amount of price. Um,
Yep.
you know, but who knows? There's going to be a few that say like, "Hey, it's worth it to give up, and I'll watch it and celebrate on the streets."
For sure. Yeah. No. It's Yeah, so it's those legacy moments. You're talking. Uh, a lot of these Knicks fans could be Mets and Jets fans too. So it's
Yeah.
like that's zero winning.
The zero.
I hate to say it. It's been a long time for those people. And you have a team in the finals that's looking as good and competitive as the Knicks are. I think those fans are there at all costs. Much like same thing you mentioned with the Cubs. I grew up with really shitty Warriors teams. I still watch them consistently. I loved my Mike Dunleavy, Jason Richardson, Troy Murphy days with the Warriors. Those were fantastic. But we were we won 26 and 50 or whatever. It was terrible. But again, you stick with the team, and then the feelings I had when Steph, Clay, Dre, Iggy came along, and just the feeling of like, holy shit, look at us now.
Yeah.
That's what sports is. You know what I mean? It's the best. It's such a marvelous feeling. I haven't, really been alive for, 9 or 6. Like, we've been successful, don't get me wrong, but like winning the big game is the problem for a lot of my lifetime. So it's been a ride, but once we do it, it's going to be amazing. So it's like, you think about those legacy moments is the dollar amount though. I did see they auctioned Celebrity Row off. I don't know if you saw that at Madison Square Garden. One for $1 million.
$1 million.
Whoa.
That's insane.
Yeah. If I were handed $1 million, it would change some things with the tickets.
Oh, yeah.
Because then, it's like, I don't know, go to the ring ceremony the next year. I don't know. It just depends. See, I don't know. It's like, are you weighing money versus the moment?
Yeah. And
it's a really tough one.
I guess it's a tough one. Like I said, I think a lot of fans are probably they probably were debating that today before this game. I think it's not going to be as big of a debate right now because, like I say, Game 4, big game still, but it's not like clinching. It's not a game clinching game. Now if they come back to New York and it's that, for them, they're up 3-2. It's going to be a discussion again, depending on how that goes, because everybody's going to want to be in New York, because if they could win it with that next game, they want to be there for those memories. So,
right.
We'll sort of see what happens. I don't know. Did you see the one picture of Timothy Chalamet icing up his knees after the first game?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Yeah, he was on the couch just like icing up his knees like he played a full game.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah, hilarious.
I appreciate
hilarious,
the fandom though.
Yeah.
Yes, very hilarious. And I do I've seen a lot of clips of Ben Stiller. He just looks like a proud father. Like being at the practices for both the Spurs and the Knicks, and he's there with like his phone. He's like taking sideways videos of it.
The way he folds it, it's like a dad.
Yeah, exactly. It's awesome. I think that's really cool. I think Cornette dapped him up because he was like one of the bigs that made a 3 in the like a little shooting around that they had. If he's dapping up the Spurs players, he's just there for the love of the game. And of course, he's a lifelong Knicks fan, but he's just, you can tell he just loves basketball. Yeah. Obviously, he has the privilege of being involved in things like that. But if you ask anybody else if they had the same opportunity, we'd all take it. Yeah. Nothing against him for doing it. So I think it's freaking awesome. It was funny to see that. And then, another thing kind of came to mind too. You sell the tickets. The New York City mayor, I guess, bought standing room tickets for $1,000. Do you sell the expensive ones? I could stand for a game if it he's still there.
Oh yeah. I'll stand for a game. Like I said, I might have to ice my knees after.
Timmy showed us how it's done.
Sore. Yeah. So, but I would do that too. It's like, hey, I'm making $600K from these tickets. I'm gonna buy some nosebleeds for $4K. Still be in the arena. Not the best seats, but still be part of that energy in that moment.
For sure. Yeah. It's there. You're there in the moment.
Yeah. So we'll see. But but yeah, that's our sports book segment. We'll go into this new segment, and it's something we'll bring up in the future. We call it our "You Said What." So it's time for "You Said What." This segment is where we break down the comments, interviews, press conferences, and sound bites that made us do a double take this week. So, from athletes and coaches to actors, musicians, politicians, internet personalities, and if somebody just said something that got people talking, we're gonna talk about it. So, some quotes will be insightful, some will be controversial, and some will leave us wondering what was going through their heads in the first place. So, we're gonna run it back and ask the question, what that we're all thinking. You said what? So, the first one, you sent it to me. I think you sent it today. Manny Machado. So I'll let you take it away.
We always have so much fun when it comes to Manny Machado content. Last year was why do you guys always use big words? And he said a very run-of-the-mill word, like it wasn't even, that crazy. And, it just drew a lot of, just comments. But in a way, like the entertainment I get from Manny Machado kind of makes me like him in a weird way. I just, he's very enjoyable to watch in these interviews. And like this one's from, I guess maybe yesterday, but it was kind of released today. This interview about him talking about analytics in sports. I'm one who's not really a big fan of it at times. We've talked about it here where coaches use it towards play calling. We brought up with like Dan Campbell and the Lions. Like it's just at times just don't do that. It's not effective. So I get maybe a part of where he's coming from, but the sound bite of what he's talking about, like the other day I was asking what does DWCPPPP mean, and it's like again. The way he came off, and all the reporters knew what they were and explained it to him and stuff. And he's like, "Yeah, why? Why are we tracking that?" And it's like the way he came off sounds like a guy who's struggling. And I think he's hitting 178 right now. I wanted to let Manny Machado know that batting average is a track stat, and that's been around since the 1860s. When the game was pretty much invented. So that statistic is worthy. And just so you know, Manny, I think you're hitting, like I said, 178 right now. That's a statistic you should probably work on a bit. It's an important one. Another one that I wanted to give out to Manny was one I like to call tits. Tremendously ineffective talking skills. When it comes to his interviews, because his interviews and his tits rating would be really terrible at the moment.
Pretty low.
Very ineffective. So shout out Manny. Just your sound bites, your interviews just never cease to make me just laugh. So thank you.
Yeah, I saw it, and like I say, you talked about it. We're not we enjoy analytics at times, but we're not the biggest fans of it. When you really rely on it, it just it doesn't go well for you. But like I say, I think as an athlete in a sport, all your analytics, what all those things are, and how much it matters. Because I can imagine Manny Machado's looking at all his stats. He's like, okay, how do I increase these stats? He knows what the base percentage. I like I say, I don't know it much of baseball that I can mention, say what they are, but I know they mean something. Like with pitching. There's certain stats that they have based off where they throw it, strikeout rates, walk rates, walk over strike, pitches or something like that is the one. I think that is one. Those stats do help at times, and it makes some of these players, some of the tendencies. So I understand, and honestly, all these players going up against Manny Machado, all these pitchers, they know his stats. They know where he swings and he's gonna miss. So analytics is actually helping others, but not helping Manny Machado because he's probably not even doing his research. He's just going up there thinking he's a baller, not knowing what these pitchers are going to throw, or thinking he knows everything, and actually just isn't that great.
Absolutely, yeah, and yeah, again, it's coming from somebody who's like he sounds like a sore loser. I looked up Manny Machado's playoff stats. I figured, Manny might want to look at these ones because anything playoff related, I would think, is pretty important, right, John?
Yeah,
like I think we all want to do well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
51 career playoff games. His batting average, I think he knows that one, is 209. Not too good. His OBP, Manny, that means on base percentage. So how many times you get to touch the base and stay there safely? 0.259, not too good. Your slugging percentage, so kind of like your extra base hits, your home runs, stuff like that, 0.423, that's pretty low. You have 8 home runs, 15 RBIs, 12 runs scored, and then your win-loss record. This is another important one, Manny.
That's a big one.
You're 3-7. And from what I see here, your World Series stats, there aren't any.
Nope.
So does that mean you've never been? Or
I think that's what it means.
Bummer, dude. Some pretty important stats. Again, I get it maybe with some of the other ones, but you can't rule out all analytics.
Yeah. Like honestly, he knows what they all mean. I think you hit it really where he's just frustrated that his batting average right now is below 2, which probably doesn't happen. And honestly, I think the Padres franchise as a whole is sort of looking into all these contracts because Manny Machado signed a large contract. He's 34 in getting into his mid 30s, and he still has a big chunk left. They're going to try to find a way to get out of it because he's not producing the way he's supposed to. Tatis, I think, is finally on the up and up, but still also a disappointment season. And for a Dodger team that has struggled this year, we're still at the top of our division. They haven't been able to take over, so it shows that they struggle even more.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, and I've seen that with Machado. I think he's due to be paid until he's 40, if I'm not mistaken. They want no part of it. Yeah. And I think that total increases every year. Again, if he's hitting 170, I don't know who's going to take it. So,
not many.
Sorry,
people
Padres fans. Have fun with your F the Dodgers dog.
Yeah.
That you guys renamed because you guys realized that there's too much backlash because you guys suck and can't make up for it. So
yeah, that was hilarious. Their excuse that it was never that, it was this. It was stop lying. You guys thought you were creative, and it's we just live in your head rent free, and I don't mind it.
Yeah, didn't they came up with some other name? It's dude, you guys use ChatGPT to somehow make up FTD. Come on, you're not fooling anybody.
That one's a funny one.
Dumb.
Yeah, but that's one of them. Another one. I'll let you take it away. Sam Presti.
Oh yeah, Sam Presti. Yeah, this one was very interesting. Very non-Thunder fan podcast we got going on here. Sam Presti was trying to, I don't know, make us feel bad or something for SGA. Yeah, I don't even know what he's going for. But just so everybody knows, not only 5 defenders were going after SGA all season long, but also the 6th defender, which was social media. Just playing great defense, I guess, towards SGA. So, but I think that he wasn't taking into account that there is 3 refs on his side as well. So it kind of equals out a bit if social media is really getting to him. Yeah. And I mean, if you're going to have that benefit, I think that rules out social media even being a factor.
Yeah. And it's social media really, you have 3 refs on your side. You have a commissioner probably on your side as well. So, you know, is this the excuse that Oklahoma fans and the organization's going to have, that SGA couldn't handle the pressure of keyboard warriors, social media, podcasts, people saying all this stuff. It's like, if you can't handle this heat, I don't know if you're meant for the game, because it's like, it's what's going to happen when you're a professional athlete and in the limelight. You're going to get criticized for every single thing. So everybody was criticizing your flopping, because that's what it is. You know, we saw it like towards game 6 and 7. Every single news media outlet, podcast, sports type talk was discussing how SGA and OKC was just so bad for basketball. How it was just bringing so much negative attention, and they just didn't want to see him win. And like I said, we've been talking about it for a long time. So it's like, don't be blaming the media as a sixth offender. It just shows you your mental mindset. You're weak. You're weak, Sam Presti. You're weak, SGA, if you're really letting this get to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it's like a play on words to try to stay relevant. It's like, dude, just stop. We don't want to hear from you guys till next season. Like, just take a break. Enjoy Cancun, you know, with everybody else. That was weak. And then, you know, Jared McCain, if you want to talk about that, like, he gets ridiculed on social media. I love Jared McCain. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a vibe. I think he's awesome. I think he's funny. Great content, interviews, whatever. But, you know, people come at him for his fingernail painting, the dances, TikTok dances. Like, he's somebody that can deal with ridicule also on social media. I didn't hear any mention of him either. So it's like, so it's just SGA has a sixth defender, I guess. I don't know. Odd. They're paid a lot of money. I think they can handle it.
Yeah, they should be able to handle it. They shouldn't be making that as an excuse. So, Presti, you know, you said what? Like, you crazy, man. Like, just stop. But that's our You Said What segment. Anytime something comes up and we're going to discuss it, we'll share what they said. But we'll go to our final segment for the episode, Real on the Rocks. So this is where we talk movies, TV shows, streaming hits, movie theater releases, and everything happening in the world of entertainment. So whether we're reviewing the latest blockbuster, breaking down a binge-worthy series, revisiting classics, or testing our movie knowledge with a few games along the way, nothing is off limits. Some reviews will be thoughtful, some opinions will be controversial, and there's a good chance we'll end up arguing about a movie one of us actually enjoyed. So you grab your guys' popcorn, pour yourself a drink, and we'll roll with the reel. We'll start with our summer movie bash check-in. So the one movie that came out this week was Scary Movie. That was one of my films. And it opened up at 54,336,626.
Wow.
So
that's very good, right?
Bigger. I like this number for my film. I was expecting maybe within like the 30, 40, so 54. Good opening weekend for us with a scary movie, a comedy and also a very dark comedy, and just, you know, really hitting a lot of sensitive subject for people. So making 54 million, I think it's a win for them. So we should be expecting more scary movies.
That's great. Yeah, I love it. And I saw a lot with Marlon Wayans taking a picture of the Rotten Tomatoes score where the critics was low, but the audience score was higher. And it's like, dude, if anybody even tries to focus on a critic review of a movie like Scary Movie, just don't even bother, because it's like, if you're even trying to check that out, like, dude, those types of movies, you look for the audience score on it. That's what I care about.
Yeah. Like this type of movie, you don't look at the critic score. You just sort of look at the audience score, see how they like it. Almost like Jackass, and the movie that's going to come out in a few weeks. I'm going to be looking at the audience score. I want to see how the audience likes it. I know critics are going to hate it. They're going to talk smack about it. You know, Odyssey's one that maybe we'll look at critic score a little bit more, but we're also going to look at audience score. So it just depends. But yeah, I like that he showed that, and he showed I don't know if you saw the post, but he showed all the critic scores for all their movies. So Scary Movie 1, 2, White Chicks, everything else, and I'm like, all those movies were generational classics for me that I enjoy watching, and that
Oh
everybody
yeah.
knows. If you talk about
Mhm.
White Girls, everybody knows the scene with what is it, Michelle Brancher or whoever, the song with Terry Crews,
Oh, 1,000 miles. Oh yeah.
Thousand Mile, or Vanessa Carlton.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude,
yeah.
the
It's like
best.
everybody knows that. Like, so what they did was great. So and I'll give my little scary movie review in a bit, but so as of right now, through 3 weeks, Tim, you're at 163,072,857. Um,
Mhm.
and I'm at now. This is my first entry into the game, 54 million.
Mhm.
So you still have the Odyssey, Disclosure Day, and Moana to go. I still
Okay.
have Spider Man, Toy Story,
Mhm.
Supergirl, and Minions.
Mm.
So I think it's gonna get really close. Like I say, Scary
Yeah.
Movie helped me. Toy Story, I think, is getting a lot of hype. Supergirl also.
Toy Story is getting a lot of hype, and then I don't know if
Yeah,
you've heard it. Taylor Swift's song that's going to
I
be in
haven't
the
heard it
movie
yet.
came out.
Oh yeah. Oh, did it?
I like it a lot. I've listened to it
Okay.
several times. Really good. Really good. I
Okay.
like it.
Yeah.
And then
So.
there's some rumors circulating the song, and then it makes you think about like what part of a movie they could use it in.
Hmm.
Very good song. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
She did a great
Yeah.
job.
So it'll be there. I see a lot of promotion for Minions and Monster, so I hope the promotion
Hmm.
keeps on going. Because I think that's sort of what could push me over the limit over you. But like I say, you got Disclosure Day coming out this week, and I told Vera, I was like, oh, it's coming out. I'm like, I want to watch it though,
It
so I
looks
gotta
really
go
good.
contribute. I gotta
Yeah, it
contribute
looks
to
really
your
good.
total.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Maybe
contribute to that total.
I got to try to get to at least one of these. That one looks very good. Emily Blunt, very good actress. So
Hmm.
hopefully it performs.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it
Hopefully it
will.
performs, and then like I say, you have Odyssey, which ah, that one's just the one that could probably destroy me, depending on how it goes. But like I said, I think the one I have is my last movie that comes out end of July, Spider Man. That's the one
Hmm.
that could maybe keep me
Could
in it.
destroy me.
Uh, so we'll sort of see,
Big
but
deal.
yeah, that's this week. And then yeah, just a little recap: Scary Movie, aka Scary Movie 6, if you're going off of the franchises. But what was great about this is it's the creators that created the first two Scary Movies: Scary Movie 1,
Hmm.
Scary Movie 2. After that, 3, 4, 5, I think it was a different studio that got the rights to the movie and still created it without the Wayne brothers. So for me, I was a big fan of the first two movies. I think a lot of us were. And it
Yes.
was really just nostalgic, going to the movies, watching this and the comedy. Um, you don't have to watch the first two films to watch this, but it would help you understand some of the comedy, some of the
Hmm.
characters, some of the backstory, and what makes them so funny, and the references. So the comedy parody that they did with the film, amazing. To open it up, Tiana Taylor, some of the stuff she did was hilarious. I did you ever watch the clip of the pastor video where the guy's like renouncing that he's gay, that he likes women? Um, that one.
I don't know if I did.
No, no, I'll show it to you. But they parodied that. It was hilarious. Like we
Oh,
were.
yes. I saw a clip of it because it's based off of a real event, right?
Yeah,
I saw a clip of it um, this past weekend, and
yeah.
everybody was like, "Oh yeah, this is the reference."
Yeah, it's hilarious, and like I said, what they do in the film, it's funny. So like I say, a lot of the movie, just a lot of laughs, a lot of the quick, comedy. Um, there were a few things I didn't like, and I would say it was more the characters. So they
Mm,
introduced some new characters, and for me, one of the characters, every time she just talked and her jokes just weren't as funny. I didn't like it. I think it sort of brought the movie down for me. Um,
mhm.
but the why it happened is because I think what they were trying to do is they were trying to get that character to be like Anna Faris. And if you know Anna Faris as an actress, she's unique. Not many people could do it, and I just think it was really bad. And like I said, those scenes were not my favorite scenes. Like I said,
like kind of like that innocent character kind of vibe. Yeah,
yeah,
like ditzy, innocent.
Yeah,
like
ditzy. The way she would talk, it was just really trying to match like Anna Faris, but I feel like it was a try too hard to be Anna Faris, not just a natural Anna Faris. So, like I say, and I understand, like I said, the way the story goes with this, it goes off of Scream 5, I think it is, one of the newer ones. So, how that movie started. So, they needed a daughter, but like I say, it just did too much. And then there was another daughter that I just didn't, like I say, for me, it just brought the movie down. It made the movie a little worse, but like I say, if you're a fan of what the Waynes created with the first two, this is a fun watch. And honestly, this was a fun watch in the theaters because everybody was laughing at the same times. Those references that you remember from Scary Movie 1, 2, you would laugh, or even the characters that came out. So the butler from Scary Movie 2, when he came out, it was just hilarious.
The small hand?
The small hand. The strong hand.
Yeah, dude. He definitely said strong hand. Shove it up in there. I love that. Nice.
It referenced that a little bit. You see a little bit of that at some point.
I cry when I watch that. It never not makes me laugh. Yes. Stuff in the turkey.
But like I said, that's what I liked about this experience, and that's why I think movie theaters are so important in the movie theater experience, because as a community watching the movie, and I saw what we've been doing is we've been watching like 10:30 showings. It was a packed 10:30 showing on a Thursday night. So that shows there were a lot of dedicated people that wanted to watch it. For this one, I would say if you can't handle raunchy comedy or just touching the lines of what's appropriate, inappropriate, the Me Too stuff, that type of comedy, this is a movie you shouldn't go watch. And it's a movie you shouldn't really be having much of a say, because this is comedy. This is what I miss about comedy, is like they could do whatever they want, and we know it's for a joke, it's for a laugh. Doesn't mean that they're actually serious. It's almost like the Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. You can't do that nowadays because people are
right now.
There's a lot of people that just take that so offensively, but it's like he didn't do it in that way. He did it for comedic value, for a movie, for laughs, because that's what it is. So, it's the one thing I would say. If you're not into this type of comedy, don't go watch it, because you're not going to like it, and then you're just going to talk smack about it when honestly you just got to be quiet. It's comedy. This is what this whole movie's about. Just make us laugh with some of the crazy comedy takes they said.
That's great. I feel like that would be a movie I'd enjoy. It's kind of like the people that go to stand-up comedy shows and get mad at the comedian for making fun of them. Dude, like, just know where you are. It's not that serious. Like, don't go see a show. Don't go see a movie.
Yeah, if you can't handle like stand-up comedy and go into that, or people making fun of you, people talking about your race, talking about you, like, don't go to those events, because they're going to be pushing the buttons, and that's what it is. Like I say, it doesn't mean someone's racist or someone's sexist. It's just like, we're just trying to get laughs. That's what comedy is, and that's what comedy was back in the day, If you look at some of those old school comedy movies that people remember, they crossed a lot of lines. Naked Gun, that movie. That crossed so many lines. Like I say,
it holds up so well, though.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my gosh! Yes, that's a great reference. Even if you want to talk about Borat, like, that wasn't even that long ago. What? 15, 20 years ago. And it just, like, a lot of it you wouldn't get away with now. But it's I agree with you.
Yeah.
Day and age of comedy is different.
Yeah, it is. So overall, Scary Movie's good. And one thing we'll start doing with reviewing is we'll have a rating scale. So out of 5, I call them whiskey glasses. how many whiskey glasses I'd give this. I give this 3.5 whiskey glasses. Like I say, I think there could have been a bit better. Some of the things probably took about half of that glass away from being maybe a 4. But overall, good watch. If you enjoy scary movie, go watch it. Watch it in theaters because, like I say, the experience with other people that love the movie and just that type of genre in comedy, it's a fun one.
That's good for a raunchy comedy. You know, it's can get tough critiques a lot of times, but yeah, made me want to watch it. Looks good.
Yeah, no, for sure. But that's everything for today. That's gonna wrap up Banter on the Rocks. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us, bantering with us today. As always, we say it every week. The support just keeps this thing growing every single week, every time. So, you know, if you enjoyed this episode, all the other episodes or segments that we put out, do us that favor, hit that subscribe, hit that follow button, leave a rating, and share with somebody that you know who loves that topic, the show.
Absolutely. Thank you guys, each and every one of you. We're trying to come up with new ideas, of course, you know, make it easy for your viewership. If you can't catch a full episode, we are breaking them up into individual videos. So hopefully you can catch those, even our short videos, quick snippets. Don't be afraid to stop by, comment, give us a like, follow. We're here each and every week, each and every day, posting up new stuff. So thank you so much as always, and enjoy your week ahead. Enjoy some World Cup soccer this weekend, NBA Finals.
Peace. We'll see you. Peace.